Feeding the 5,000.
and some fish.
Right. What do we feed them? We're
I
feeding
think
them.
I think there's a hint there. And we are in John chapter 6, and we're starting in the beginning of chapter 6.
First one.
There's one.
And I was trying to think of it, right? Because this is one way that I thought that you could feed 5,000 people with a limited number of fish, right? Is that you just make the fish bigger. So we do get to see that.
But let's see if that's the way Jesus did it. But it is cool, John. It is cool.
After these things, Jesus went over the Sea of Galilee, which is the Sea of Tiberias.
Hmm.
Hmm. When a great multitude followed him, because they saw his signs which he performed on those who were diseased. And Jesus went up on the mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. Now the Passover, a feast of the Jews, was near. Then Jesus lifted up his eyes, seeing a great multitude coming toward him. He said to Philip, where shall we buy bread that we may eat? But this he said to test him, for he himself knew what he would do. Okay.
I know.
Philip answered him, 200 denarii worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may have a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, there is a lad here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish.
Oh,
But what are they among so many? Right, yeah, it's not enough.
exactly.
Then Jesus said, make the people sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down, in number about 5,000.
Mm,
There was grass, wow.
I know.
And Jesus took the loaves. When he had given thanks, he distributed them to the disciples, and the disciples to those sitting down, and likewise of the fish, as much as they wanted. So when they were filled, he said to his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain, so that nothing is lost. Therefore they gathered them up and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which were left over by those who had eaten. Then those men, when they had seen the sign that Jesus did, said, this is truly the prophet who is to come into the world. And they was
Mm,
right.
yeah,
Jesus got what? Just got done defending himself.
I
Well,
know.
I
And
guess,
saying how Moses talked about the prophet, and
right.
that's what he referred to, you know, in a way, right?
Well, look, if you want to send a sign to somebody, I guess this is a way to do it, right?
Right.
You have the prophets, and then you somehow are able to feed 5,000 people. And then, as somebody who's in charge of Jerusalem, you should be worried, right?
Oh, I see what you
5,000 people is enough to take over the city.
mean. And he can feed them
Theoretically, right?
without taxes and all the other stuff.
Right. But,
Hmm. What? And it was a blessing for all the 5,000 people that ate.
that's true. And they just showed up. I don't know, brought food.
And so the men sat down, yeah. And was there
The
women
wine
and children?
in,
Mm.
sorry, why in verse 5? Why the test?
Why the test? Yeah.
Why ask Philip? Yeah, why is Jesus not like, somebody find me fish? Right? I'll do it.
Hmm.
And then what of his response? You know, he said, like, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot if you're gonna go buy it.
But he said this to test him for himself. Yeah. I mean, maybe so that he understood how great of a miracle it was after,
Or what it was worth.
what it was worth, maybe.
Not that it matters, but I guess
Or
it
maybe it,
should put it into perspective.
right, right. That's what I mean. Yes, it could put it into perspective exactly.
And
Exactly.
then one of his Andrew seemed this is
Simon
what
Peter's
was the
Peter's
one
brother.
who was the disciple of John.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is Andrew.
I think so. That's Andrew, which is Peter's brother. But yes, we learned that Andrew was John's disciple. That was exciting.
Well, yeah. So where did Philip come from? Philip
Uh,
was
we don't really know.
okay. Well,
I
it's like
I'm not
we,
sure if we know. I don't remember. He's just here now, but I don't remember where he came from. Like,
Andrew seems a little more willing, right, to be open, maybe to something that's not just buying the bread.
right. I see what you're saying. Because
He
he's like,
said, "We have 5 loaves and 2 fish, and we got a lot of people."
did he go interview them or he's just seen that there's a lad or
Unless you're gonna start to do your Jesus thing, I don't know what we're doing here.
right. But we know you're Jesus. So maybe he knew. Maybe Andrew knew. If he told Jesus
Well,
you
right? He
had,
should have known, right?
so do you have to have a seed or a tiny thing to multiply? I
Uh,
mean, God can do anything, but
yeah,
is there a principle in having a seed, as in the little bit, and then God can multiply it?
yeah. I
And then,
mean, if you're uh, a horological expert, right, and you're great at growing seeds,
like, there's
you
a
can just
principle there,
collect.
probably, yeah. And we have a
Right, you
seed of the
done that.
word, a seed of the word, and then we can grow on it too, right? We can grow on our knowledge. And in the
And
Old
think
Testament,
about this one, right? These seeds, right? In the, I guess the ministry of Jesus, right? These seeds that you're growing in my theoretical plot in my mind, right?
right.
Those seeds can be potted up and right given to other people and ideas and stories. Yeah, well, art,
Yes. Oh, yes. Share the seeds.
right? That's art.
Mm, I gotcha.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Just like
Well,
that humongous fish behind you, which
I know
definitely would feed 5,000 people.
with that size.
That's one of them.
I know.
Imagine, mother, they would be throwing spears with ropes attached to them, wailing it at them. And then they'd all have to collectively bring it down, whatever physics are helping it fly right now. But, that's 5,000 people right there. And is it
Well,
ceviche?
is that what kind of a fish it is?
Well, it'd be unless they got fire or something.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe they had a bonfire.
Ah,
They could have had roasted fish.
roasted fish. Okay. But roasted fish is good. And Jesus had fish many times.
True. And there was nothing left over.
Well, in this case, there was,
Well, there was stuff left over, but Jesus was not wasteful.
he was not, oh, yes, yes, there was nothing wasted. I got you. Yes. Correct. Correct. Thank you, Lord. Wow, that is peaceful. Time to go have some fish, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.